Hello folks, I'm actually with two candidates who are going to be standing for Grange in Gloucester. Both of them are standing as independents. I'm with Deborah Hill, and Deborah, you haven't stood before, I think. You're new to this game. What's drawn you into politics?
Yes, I'm new to this game. I'm familiar with local government because I work for a local government in the county, but I'm very interested in joining Gloucester City Council to try to bring some of the issues to the fore that I'm concerned have been buried in the past. I'm concerned that money's gone missing and that basically the City Council isn't open and transparent about what it's doing and what it's doing to investigate and stop these kind of things happening again.
That sounds like a huge slice of something to look into, actually. Before we go into that in more depth, I'd also like to talk to Nigel. Now, Nigel Hanman's been a councillor for a little while, I think. Why are you coming forward as an independent this time?
Well, the reason I'm becoming an independent is simply because I'm an independent and I'm thinking of my community, whereas in the past I've been tied to the whip and had to abide by whatever the decision is made by the cabinet within the party which I used to be in.
So this gives you a lot more freedom to actually really serve the people in your community.
I believe it does.
You're both standing for Grange, so what are the issues that the local people are concerned about?
Well, I think my major concern is the fact that Grange as a community have been neglected for many years. The footpaths, the alleyways, they have been laid down back in the 60s. They've never been touched except when Southwest Television dug them up to put cables in for television.
And do you feel that provides a bit of a hazard for people?
Well, when you consider that where it was dug up has now sunk probably 1/4 of an inch, and then you've got manhole covers in the footpath which is standing up another 1/4 of an inch above the footpath.
So nice trip hazards for people.
So it's very difficult for someone in on a mobility scooter. That's why a lot of them travel on the road, even though they're not.
Yeah, more dangerous, I think.
Well, yes, but these are the main problems with Grange, and I've tried to get things done through Highways Department, but I'm afraid nobody seems to take seriously what I'm talking about.
So you believe as an independent your voice will actually be louder, be heard more?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I believe that because I've been tied to the party whip in the past, I can now make my own decisions, not be controlled by someone else.
This brings us back to what Debbie was talking about, I think, when she was talking about accountability and some of the issues that you feel that you want to get involved in because you're unhappy with how public money has been used, how people have been serviced in the area. So talk a little bit more about how you think you might change things, what you think would happen.
Yeah, so what tends to happen is that there are meetings before council meetings where the parties meet up to decide how they're going to vote. So in essence, the sort of decisions are almost taken before the council meeting has even happened. And as a group of independent people, we will be going into that meeting with like-minded ideas and values, but with our own freedom to vote how we think best to suit people of Gloucester and also the people in the ward and our own local issues, and I think that freedom is missing, and we need to bring that kind of the core values back into local government.
What do you feel are the core values, or should be the core values, for anybody that's in elected office?
So the core values should be looking after
the people who pay the rates,
the people who pay the council tax. It's public money that's being spent at the end of the day, so it's all it's money that's been taken off people locally, and the fact that money is being spent and sometimes wasted in terms of because the governing group has made a decision on something and there seems to be very little accountability, and also the opposition seem to be quite powerless to give that good opposition really that they should be doing.
So what you're basically saying is that in many ways the electorate in Gloucestershire or in Gloucester have not been listened to, have not been kept informed, kept in the loop about all the things that have been going on with their taxes, the money that they've paid in?
I don't think it's a case of they haven't been listened to. I don't think they're being informed. So I mean, I think this is we've got the problem.
Can I say I've been a councillor for the party for 20 years, my community, but things that's gone on that has come to light in the last few years, I didn't know anything about it because the cabinet basically keep it all under control.
So even as a councillor, when you were working with one of the other parties, one of the legacy parties, you weren't kept informed about what was happening?
Not one iota, no.
So as an independent, of course, both of you and others who are standing as independents for Gloucester will be able to dig into that, hopefully, a lot more.
We're really going to challenge, and you know, I've been along to several council meetings and committee meetings as well, and I'm absolutely shocked by the lack of challenge, really, that's given to the governing party. Very little challenge.
Basically told which way you're going to vote.
Yeah, Nigel, coming back to you, you mentioned that you were very concerned about the pavements, and you mentioned mobility scooters. I gather from what you said that there's going to be quite a large population of elderly or disabled people. Are there any other issues in your area that affect them?
Well, because there's quite a large number of bungalows in, which means you have a lot of elderly people in Grange. Now, I did approach the Clinical Care Trust. So a guy phoned me up. Basically, I think what he was saying was there's not enough people in Grange to warrant a doctor's surgery. I said, but you can spend £1 million down in Kingsway and build a doctor's surgery.
So how does that affect people in Grange then? If there isn't an effective doctor's surgery, where do they go? How do they get the service they need?
If they catch a bus, I'm talking about people obviously who have no transport. You get on the bus. Now the number 10 bus goes to Cheltenham. So it goes into Gloucester and then along out to London roadway. So the nearest it's going to get to is the traffic lights at Wootton Pitch.
So how far are we talking that people from the Grange have to walk to get this bus?
I would say 3/4 of a mile or something like that. I'm not quite sure how long the road is.
It's not too great if you're not feeling very well, is it?
It's all the way up Horton Road, isn't it? Just near the junction with Great Western Road.
It's a long way to the Aspin Centre, I think it is, isn't it?
I think it is, because it's the big super surgery.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're talking probably about half a day at least for an old person to go out, catch the bus, make an appointment, whatever, to get there in time.
So you have been lobbying in the past to try and get that fixed?
I have been lobbying. Going back when it was a primary care trust, we were on top of the list to have a doctor's surgery built. And they were looking for somewhere to build it, but they wanted to put it on land that has a covenant on it. So they were not allowed to build on it.
I'm sure there must be other plots of land they could have found.
Well, I pointed out to them that there is a big car park which is the centre of Grange, by the community centre and library and the shops, which is the centre of the Grange. They could put a doctor's surgery on the end of the car park up to the Beaufort School.
So it's all part of that community centre then?
Yes. And but they didn't seem that they were interested in that because they were stopped building on land that had a covenant on it. They lost interest. But then the primary care trust gets disbanded, and then the clinical care trust sets up, and lo and behold, they spend £1 million on the doctor's surgery in Kingsway. Never mind about the old people in Grange.
And the proportion of elderly people in Kingsway will be a lot less because the demographic of Kingsway is a lot younger.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the people in Grange, they're nearly as old as me, if not older, which is old.
So yes, I can see you obviously have, if we're thinking about what happens in 3 or 4 years' time when you're looking to the electorate again, I guess one of the things you'd like to be in account for is that you've managed to get a doctor's surgery built.
Yes, that, but I'm going to try anyway.
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
So I wish you both the best of luck in getting elected, so you can actually represent the people that are making your choice on the ballot vote.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, very good luck to you both. On what date is it?
6th of May.
6th of May.
6th of May.
Yeah, I shall look with interest to see how many independents come forward. People of Gloucestershire need it, I think.
I think people of
certainly do.
Gloucester need a change.
Yes.
Yes, vote for change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you.